Hi, I'm the Malt activist, and today I have with me something special. I have with me Jim Murray's Whiskey of the Year 2020. This is the 1792 full proof. Okay, right off the bat, I'm going to apologize for this clickbait. Using Jim Murray and Whiskey of the Year in my title, but you know what? I'm not sorry. I need the views. So you know what? Live with it. So here's the deal with me and Jim Murray. So when I first got into whiskey drinking, I was obviously really impressed with what he wrote, and I thought he was the foremost whiskey expert that ever lived. Now I know that's Serge from whiskeyfun.com. But back in the day, I didn't know that. And so I used to follow every single word he wrote. I would defend him. And then when I got the Bible, I was like, oh my God, it's like this guy is reading my mind. And we agreed on almost everything that he wrote, and I concurred. And then I would pretty much obsess about any whiskey that he deemed to be spectacular. I wanted to get my hands on it and try it. This infatuation lasted all the way until I eventually ended up meeting him. And let's just say it was a less than stellar experience. I will not go into details, but you know the old adage, never meet your heroes? Well, it's true for this. But having said that, barring a few really weird choices that he's made for his Whiskey of the Year and the points that he gives, I feel like I generally agree with the type of palate he is. And the stuff that he likes, I like by and large, So when last year he awarded his top 3 whiskeys as all bourbons, I was like, whoa, that is crazy, right? But the thing is, one of them was a George T. Stagg and the other one was a William LaRue Weller. And I am a huge fan of both of those whiskeys. But this one was supposedly better than those. So I was intrigued. And I couldn't get my hands on it until last night, when one of my very close friends had a little bit left in his bottle, and he said, why don't you use this for one of your videos? And for that I am extremely thankful. So here it goes. Okay, woo! So this is bottled at 62.5%. It's not necessarily cask strength. It just says full proof, so which is about 125 proof by American standards and 62.5% ABV by normal standards. The mash bill on this is obviously a secret, but some sources say it's roughly 75% corn, about 15% rye, and the rest is malted barley. I am not 100% sure, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it does seem like it has a much higher corn to other grain ratio. This is in the target range of 7 to 8 years. Now, none of this is official literature, but there's enough references out there online for me to sort of kind of arrive at these conclusions. So there you have it. 8-year-old bourbon from Buffalo Trace, bought over recently from Barton. Yes. So in fact, yes, that was the whole controversy, right? 2020 Jim Murray's top 3 were all from Buffalo Trace. So everybody went, we wonder. Well, I don't know. Do I think he's a cheat? No. Do I think he's corrupt? No. Is he not the nicest man in the world? Yes. Let's just leave it at that. This is more about the whiskey and less about Jim Murray. So as you can see, it's a nice golden color, as you would expect from a somewhat older bourbon. Very strong nose. You get an immediate alcohol singe, almost a spirity ethanol wood varnish, which in the first instance is not necessarily pleasant, but once you get past that, it's quite very oaky, very leathery, There's something charred in here as well. Milk chocolate. Hint of like this wet earth mossiness as well, which I'm not sure works entirely well with the crispness of all the other notes. Wow, the acetone or the varnish or the ethanol, that's back. I wouldn't immediately say that this is like an absolutely cracker of a nose. I personally am a huge fan of high strength bourbon, so something like this actually does excite me. So I normally overlook a lot of flaws just because it is what it is, a high strength bourbon. My sweet spot. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the legs. Nice and slow. So yeah, decent nose. I won't say it's an absolute cracker. There's a few off notes that don't really sit well with me, but you know, by and large, I think it's the nose is okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. So the 62.5%, very, very evident on the palate. It's very, very oak forward. So right now my mouth is super dry. But oak, leather, coffee beans, dry coffee beans, roasted coffee beans, dried dates, dark chocolate, hint of cherries, but ripe sweet cherries. You know, not young tart cherries. I wish the mouthfeel was more viscous. It's not. It's a bit on the medium side. I wish it was medium to full, but that's not entirely just a complaint. That's something that I would have liked for it to be. So there's a hint of something bitter in there as well. Finish is nice and long, quite decent. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna stay for a while. So look, I think this is a decent whiskey. I like it. It's not bad. I like it purely because it's a bourbon and it's a high strength bourbon. Does it qualify to be whiskey of the year? I don't know. I don't think, you know, I'm equipped to answer that question. To each his own, I suppose. What I like, somebody else might not. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But you know, if you're like rushing to go out there and find it and pay like really huge prices for an auction, don't. Because I think it's sold for like $45-50, and I think that's the right price for this whiskey, frankly. So don't spend a lot of money on auction trying to get a hold of this just because Jim Murray said it's the whiskey of the year, just to see what it tastes like. It tastes like any other high strength bourbon. It's not bad. It did not blow my mind. The George T. Stack blew my mind. The William Lauder Weller blew my mind. The Thomas Handy Sazerac Rye blew my mind. The Eagle Rare 17 blew my mind. These are all from Buffalo Trace. But you know, this 1792 Foolproof did not blow my mind. Does that mean I'm not going to drink it again? No. I think it's a very decent whiskey. It has some rough edges, in my opinion. Not entirely balanced. Something bitter and something overly oaked, in my opinion. Maybe this would have been a better whiskey at 6 years. Who knows? But you know, I'm glad I got to try it. I'm glad I got to give it an independent opinion. I don't begrudge Jim Murray for calling this his whiskey of the year. He's extremely well entitled to do that. He's his own brand, and I'm going to leave it at that. As far as I'm concerned, nah, it was alright. So thank you for joining me for this whiskey review. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.